Okay, I am here with Daytawion Lowe. Daytawion, thank you so much for joining me today for our Cowboy conversations. You played at OSU, you were on that 2011 championship team, so I really do appreciate you taking the time to speak with me today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Perfect. So let's get started here. So, Daytawion, how did you get to OSU?
Started playing football young. It was just a thing I had love for. Um, had a lot of support from my mom and my dad. Just growing up, they sent me to a good school. I ended up going to Carl Albert, home of the champions. We win a lot. And there, I don't think I knew that I was good enough to play Division I football at that time, but it just went through the program. So as me being around winners and different stuff like that, and guys that had already paved the way, it kind of like helped me with the OSU thing. It was just I want to say when I was a sophomore, they started recruiting me really, really, really hard. It was my first offer. I was always like a cowboy type guy. Uh, so out of OU and OSU, it was kind of like a easy pick for me because it fit me more.
I love that. Well, we are very happy that you chose to go to Oklahoma State. Where does your cowboyness, your Western style, where does that come from?
Basically just growing up in the country. Spencer, my mom's dad, and my papa's family, they had land in Wellston, Oklahoma. So like I was around all type of animals. I mean, they both had horses. We had horses. We had cows at the time. My papa, I remember him having ostriches, just all type of pigs, animals that I mean, just it was just a way of life. That's how I felt at the time. That's just what we knew.
That's really cool. So, when you went to college, going up to Stillwater, did you still get a chance to be around horses, or how was that? Because you were probably just focused on school and on sports.
Yes, it kind of declined as I went to college. Like you said, I was more focused on sports, and it ain't always the safest thing to be riding a big animal like that. So I mean, I kind of focused off of it. I was still around horses. I had a buddy, one of guys I call really like a brother or my best friend. He trained horses, so he at that time he was training and racing horses. So I would more go up to Remington and watch him race and stuff like that.
So, what do you remember about your time at Oklahoma State? Because you were there for the 2011 championship team. So, you were there at the height of really what OSU football has made it out to be today. So, what do you remember about the guys, about your the games? What do you remember about your time as a Cowboy?
Most importantly, it was fun. It was a great experience. I had fun with the group of guys that was around me. I think we were very close knit group. We did a lot of things together from playing video games, going out. We were very competitive with one another, whether it was the offense or the defense, being competitive with one another. But at the same time, when it broke off and we were able to be on our own, we meshed, even if it was offense or defensive guys. So I think just being together and fighting for that one goal, I think that kind of helped us along the way. So I mean, it was just a fun experience.
So after college, you went and played in the pros for a brief time, and then you came back to Oklahoma. So what was happening for you right after you got out of the NFL?
Right after, really not too much. I was really kind of just not doing too much, hanging around a lot. But I really didn't know the direction I wanted to go. I was kind of so football, football, football that it was kind of I could say like a rough patch for me. So I kind of like was didn't have a clue what I wanted to do, and I had a kid, had my first child. After I had my first child, my mom was on me about getting a job. So I go ahead and I got a job, and I started out at Lowe's, working at Lowe's in Shawnee. Then after that, I kind of the same brother or friend that you would call that was racing the horses. He kind of got me in on that and told me I needed to start investing in it. So I kind of invested in it, and it's been doing great for me. I appreciate him for that.
So you're still racing horses?
Yes, yes, ma'am. I raced. I want to say 3 times the year before, 2 times this year, and we just now coming up on season in March, so we'll be running in March, April, right around in there at Remington Park.
So how different is race horses from what you grew up on?
Not really too much of a difference. It's just the type of time and patience and different type of money that you have to put in them. That's the biggest difference in racehorses, other than just an animal that you just would have in your yard.
So would you say taking care of a racehorse is similar to how an athlete is? Because these horses are taken care of way better than you and I are sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like a performance deal. It's kind of like a thing that I get excitement out of. It's kind of like playing football for me in a sense, because it's kind of like training like if you're training for yourself. When I play football, it's factors that go into you performing at a high level. So eating right, exercising, making sure you're healthy, not feeling no pain. All them factors into the same thing with a racehorse. And if you want them to perform at the high level, you have to be able to take care of it and give it really the best conditions to perform for you.
I love that. So now that you are retired and you are doing your thing with racehorses, you also have the chance sometimes to go up to Oklahoma State and go to some games. I know that you went to Bedlam this year, which is awesome. You were even in the locker room with the guys. So, what was that energy like being back in the locker room and being back around football and Coach Gundy and even some maybe of your former teammates?
Oh, it was great. I mean, a lot of those guys I don't really know, So I seen a lot of guys that I went to school with that I got to meet. So I mean, it was just a great reunion. First of all, second of all, it was under great circumstances. Last Bellum we won, so I mean, it made me feel great being an Oklahoma kid, and I know those guys felt good as well. So I mean, it was kind of just a best in a moment type thing. Kind of let them do their thing, because I know how it is when you're in the locker room. I want you're feeling that feeling. They had a different feeling than I was feeling, But I understand the feeling when they're playing and they putting their hearts on the line, how good that feels to them. So I kind of let them enjoy their moment. I wasn't really too much in the way.
So, how would you say your background of being around horses and cattle and growing up with a lot of animals around you kind of made you into the person that you were today?
I think it takes a lot of patience, a lot of discipline, when it comes to these animals. Like I remember being young and having to go get the eggs for my papa at the chicken coop. Just little stuff like that teaches you, discipline and matures you faster than I think most kids that just kind of sitting in the house or maybe not as outside or adventurous as the other kid could be. So I mean, I think it definitely helped mature me and helped me with discipline and things like that, as well as my parents. They were on me as well. So I mean,
So, as a Black athlete who grew up around this, and you go to Oklahoma State and you are getting the chance to kind of talk about your background a little bit, how do you hope that being a Black athlete who was a cowboy or is a cowboy, I say you still have horses, can help some of these other athletes that might be like you, might have grew up in Spencer, might have grew up around horses or cattle themselves?
um, I think I can't really speak on how it would help them. Everybody goes through their own situations and different type of circumstances in their own life, but I know that just with those things around you, it does help you and help mold you to be stronger and different stuff like that, and more focused.
One last question for you. If you could talk to a prospective athlete that is thinking about going to OSU, what is it about Oklahoma State athletics or Oklahoma State football that stands out? And what would you tell that student to say, hey, you should be a Cowboy?
One of the biggest things is it's all about football down there in Stillwater. You know what I mean? It's all about OSU. Um, it's not much around. It's a safe place for you to go where everybody is going to be kind of like just nice. You know, it's just like the old country feeling nice. You don't have many outsiders that's around, so everybody kind of looks out for each other, and it spills into the program like just a family unit. Uh, don't worry about the coaches like doing too much of lying to you and doing all that extra stuff. You know, it's just honesty. I felt like when I was there, they told you how it was, and it was up to you to go in there and do what you have to do. So if I was a recruit, this is what I would be looking for in a program, a program that's not trying to cut any corners or nothing like that, but they're just proud, just be proud to be a Cowboy, and that's how I feel.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today. I appreciate you giving us a little more insight onto how you have a Western background and how that kind of played out with you at Oklahoma State.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me. You have a good one.